Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Today, we're going to do the May 2024 Once Upon a Book Club book. Uh, I will go ahead and I'll just tell you guys all the gifts first because from the reviews of the last one I did, it seems like you guys prefer to hear about the gifts first, and then I can tell you about the book. So I will have links to dupes below. I have to let you know, based on FTC regulations, I am an Amazon affiliate. So if you click on my link and then you purchase anything, I will get a percentage. It's anything from like 1 to 10% depending on you buy. It's usually on the lower end of the scale, but I have to stay on the law. Hashtag ad. Let you guys know that I do get paid when you purchase something, not if you just click on the link but if you click and then purchase something, that's the difference. I was able to find dupes of everything, including the book. So I would recommend checking out. So let's get to just the gifts so you guys can know that one. The first thing they put in here is sort of like the sneak me gift. It's, well, a surprise. I would say it's more of a surprise. They're talking about people playing music in the town square. And the one thing that they do is that they put a little QR code in here so you can hear the music that they're playing in the town square. I love it when they sneak little things in here like this. It's not really a gift as much as it is a surprise. And that way you can kind of hear the music that they're playing while you're reading the book and you can kind of have it just put you in that atmosphere. And I really like that. The first gift comes on page 107. There's a character. I believe the name is Adil. It's Adil. And the main character notices that he's playing with this glass ball. So the gift you get is a glass ball key ice cube tray. And this is a picture of the tray. And sorry, I have like my thing of water here. And I made a couple. Let me see if I can fish it out. Of course, your girl is like super uncoordinated right now. But here's a glass ball that I made. Now, I will say this is my first time making them. And so there is a learning curve. Some of them came out perfect and some of them came out a little iffy. The way you do this, if you're wondering, because I had to look up a YouTube video, is that this is the bottom tray. You fill this whole thing up with water, and then you just slap this on top, and there are holes all up top of here so that the water will squish out and come out the top, and then water was kind of sit here. Now, the mistake I made is that I tried to pour out the water that was sitting on top. It's best if you just leave it there. That way you have perfect round balls. Another thing you can do is you can put fruit into these and then fill it up with water and then put this thing on top. I haven't tried that yet, but I am going to give that a try. But I did love this. I would never think about getting one of these. And once I got one, it's like, oh, it's so cute. Uh, so I actually think this was a really good get in this box. Something to try, something new, something different. I do have an ice cube maker, but it'd be nice to kind of like make my own ice. I have one for coffee. I have a huge ice cube thing that makes like big huge things of coffee. So that way when I make iced coffee, I can just put that in there instead of actual ice, and that way it doesn't dilute my coffee with water. It dilutes it with more coffee. So I actually like this, and I'm wondering what it'll be like to put coffee in here and make little coffee balls. I might have to give that one a try. Make little like put little dabs of chocolate in every single one of these, or put little dabs of caramel in some, dabs of vanilla in the other, dabs of chocolate, dabs of white chocolate, dabs of chocolate caramel, and then put coffee, and then put this on top and then freeze it. See how it comes out. We gonna give that a whirl. But that was your first gift. Was the glass ball key ice cube tray. Now your second gift that came on page 192 here, where they're examining a body for clues for this murder, and they say that the person she's using a pair of tweezers to pluck out an object between the two uh, bean struts. And so, of course, the gift is a pair of tweezers. Now, if you notice, it is specially colored to match the book. kind of flows. Now this, I'm gonna be honest, I have a pair of tweezers with a light on the end, so that, and you see I touched my tin when I did that because I have these two that come through every 4 months, and I have to get them out. But this one's gonna go into the bathroom downstairs. That is my guest bathroom. When you stay in my if you stay in my house, I usually have guests stay in the bedroom that's in the basement. It has their own bathroom, and in the bathroom I have just like deodorant, shampoo. When I say deodorant, I mean spray deodorant, lotion, loofahs, just toothbrush, toothpaste, just the incidentals that you need. So I'm gonna add this down there so that if that person comes in and get a pair of tweezers, you never know what happens. You might come down here and your eyebrows may look like, well, the way mine do right now, and you need to tweeze them. So you have a pair of tweezers. So this is just something handy to have around the house. And I also like the bag that it came in, because once again, the bag matched the book. And this is the issue that I have, is that I don't want to get rid of the bag because I may need it. I don't know why I'm like that. I don't know why I'm like that. I have a hard time throwing things away, especially when I can see that they're useful. I can imagine, like, I crochet until I have stitch markers. My stitch markers can go in here, and then that way I can know where they all are at the same time. It's so bad. I know I have problems. If you're like that, let me know in the comments below. Please tell me I'm not alone. Okay, the next gift comes in page 264. And so pretty much they're looking around someone's living quarters. And they say there's a knife block on the counter along with the baskets of onions and garlic and a jug of olive oil with a wonky handle. So your gift is an olive oil jug. I'm not even gonna lie, I haven't even seen one of these before. Like, maybe because I don't watch cooking shows like that. And I never had one growing up. And in case you're wondering, it does come with the spout. That goes there. And then there's a spout so you can pour it out. And you put your olive oil inside. Now, I'm guessing that it looks like the opening is wide enough to just pour olive oil in, but I'll probably get a funnel and pour the oil in just to make sure it doesn't get messy. Or I can use a plastic Ziploc. What you do is you put the oil into the plastic Ziploc, you cut a tiny hole and put it inside the mouth, and then you just open up the top a little bit to let air through to push the oil down into here. And that way you can have a little olive oil to just kind of spread into your pan, and it's just really nice. It actually matches. If you guys have seen the videos with my kitchen's in the background, my cabinets are stone gray. They do look blue on camera, but they actually are stone gray, and it actually matches the color of this. So if you're thinking it's blue, it's not. It's actually a grayish color. And this one holds 17 ounces. The ones that I found that were close to this are 24 ounces, and the mouth is a bit bigger. So those you might be actually pour into. And I hate that saying when people say, "Can you pour into me?" No, I'm sorry, that weirds me out. Please don't pour into me. Don't ever say that to me. It's really weird. And I know it's just me. I know I found that irky. It's probably just me. But no. But this right here is actually really cute idea. I've never seen one of these before because I don't watch cooking shows like that. But I actually can't wait to give this a try because I like to make eggs with olive oil. I know. It's just me. I like to make eggs with olive oil. My mom makes it with butter. And I also like to saute mushrooms with olive oil. So it'd be nice to just have this on the counter ready to go, and it actually looks cute. It looks nice. So that was your gift for that page. Your final gift. There's this character named Clara. And what Clara does is she explores the island. And the one thing she does, she carves these birds. And she leaves them at places she's been. And so as she's going back, walking through the areas, she finds a couple of the birds she's carved. I'll explain why she didn't remember when I talk about the book. But that is on page 279. Let me find page 279. So that's here. And it says, I stopped my description, realizing she isn't listening any longer. In the middle of the floor, placed so it can be seen, was one of Clara's carved birds. And so what you see here in this box, once again, cute box. I feel like I'm gonna have to keep it. Is Claire's birds salt and pepper shakers. Here's one. And here's the other. Let me put them in my hand so you can see them fully. And those are the top. One has 2 holes, the other has 1. So I truly believe that one is supposed to be salt and the other is supposed to be pepper. Let me know below which one's supposed to be which one's supposed to be salt and which one's supposed to be pepper. And then here's the bottom opening. Now, my dining table, my formal dining table, it has charger plates that are gold. The plates on top are like it's a marble-ish feel with gold veins gold veins kind of going through them. I have napkin rings that are gold, and I have a napkin that's white. And then the stuff on top is like gold and white. So these birds are going to fit perfectly. Now, will I ever put salt and pepper in them? Probably not. They're going to probably just be there to be cute. But it'll actually make a great accent to my table. So as soon as I stop this video, I'm going to go over there and put these birds on there. I think they're actually adorable. And I actually found some really good dupes of these. I was surprised that I was able to find really good dupes. But the dupes are going to be listed below. So there's your little birds. Your little love birds. And so there's a tail. And then here's the tail on the other one. So your little love birds. So those. Oh, another thing they did. Sorry. Another thing they did, they started giving out stickers for your books. And they have, there are 3 things you can buy. One is a water bottle with the little hexagon shapes. And yes, hexagon, I had to remember it's hexagon because there are 6 sides. Pentagon is 5 sides. Hexagon is 6 sides. So with all these hexagon shapes on it, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to stick these to the water bottle as you start reading. And it kind of keeps track of like, hey, here's all the books that I read throughout the year. And I think they're kind of hoping that if people see you with the water bottle, it'll spark conversation like, oh, what's that? And you can tell them about the What's About book club and the sticker collection. And then they have a piece of just paper that you can like put on a wall and you can keep track of everything that you read. I honestly, I don't need another water bottle. I have a ridiculous amount of water bottles. Every time I go to a convention, usually the gift is a water bottle. People give them out like candy now. They're like Oprah with water bottles. I have a ton of water bottles. I don't need any more. So, especially if you guys watch my Fat Fit Fun videos, you guys know every season I end up getting a water bottle. So, I'm probably going to end up putting these stickers on a huge jewelry case that I have that doubles as a mirror. It's actually hangs on my door. Like that's how huge it is. It's like 4 feet, 6 inches tall. It's a huge, huge jewelry case. And I have stickers on the side already of pictures of my family, stickers for the TV show Friends. I have a sticker that says Pivot. So this is going to probably end up going on that as well. And that way I can keep track of all the books that I read. So, and then of course you have the nameplate with the author's signature on it, a note from the author telling you about the book itself and, wanting to know your opinion. If you do have this box, please join the Facebook group. Talk about the book. Actually get involved in the conversation. It helps. It helps you get involved in the conversation to hear other people's opinions about the book. So, let's get to the book. So if you're done with the gifts and you don't want to hear about the book, just go ahead and cut me off. I don't take it personal. I know sometimes you don't want to hear me. You just want to see the stuff. Go ahead. Do that. I'll give you a second. All right. We're here for the book. We're here for the book. Okay, let's do this. So, The Last Murder at the End of the World. So the world was taken over by this fog. And if you get caught into the fog, you die. The scientists who are working in the island near Greece figured out a way to put up a force field to keep the fog at bay. And they put out an alert that if anybody wanted to come and be saved, come here, be saved. At the end, there were 122 people who were saved. Three of those are elders who are scientists. They are highly revered, been living for over a century. Everybody loves them, thinks they're great. It's Naima, Hephaestus, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry, and Thea. Those are the three elders. Then you have all the other villagers. The villagers have a collective mindset or hive mindset, where if it's good for the village, it's good for me. Even if I'm not happy doing it, it doesn't matter. It's good for the village. So if you're someone who can make clothes, even though you may not be the happiest doing it, you're going to still do it because it's what the collective needs. The collective needs clothes, and they trade with each other. They get together. They have this huge dinner. So the thing about this island is that people only live till 60. So on like when you're 59 and you're 59 and 11 hours, they actually have a living funeral for you. You lay there, people talk about how great you are, you go to sleep, never wake up again. 60, that's the end of your life. When people are brought to this island, they're 8 years old. People actually ask, can I have a kid? They decide who has a kid based on who's dying. Like, hey, this guy is dying, we need a new kid to keep our population numbers up. Everybody applies to have a kid. They say, okay, you're going to get a kid. Kid comes to you 8 years old. Now, the only person who actually questions this is a girl named Emery. Emory. Emery is just like, okay, this is really, really weird because she remembers, they tell stories about the old world. It's like in the old world, people were babies. This doesn't make any sense. And she questions it. But people, the other villagers, like, stop questioning things. We're happy. Why do you keep bringing all this up? No, just keep it to yourself. And they actually get annoyed with her and all her questions. Her dad, Seth, is the exact same way. He's the person who handles all the boats. You can go a mile out of the island without hitting the fog. And he's a person who kind of knows the undercurrent and things like that. So you need to go out on a boat. He's the person that rows you there. And he's the person who will always tell his daughter, look, stop asking questions. Be quiet. Be happy. We're all happy. We're all good. Our island is great. Why are you making waves? Stop. And then you have her daughter, Clara. Clara is actually working for one of the elders. She's working for Thea. Emery hates this because one of the last people who actually worked for Thea was her husband, Jack. And Jack and his whole crew died under Thea. And of course, it sounds like, hey, he served his purpose. Emery's pissed. Like, I lost my husband to you because he was one of your apprentices following your orders. I don't want that for my daughter. And the daughter's like, hey, I just want to be of service and do what's best for the community. Just be proud of me. And so you see that conflict between mother, daughter, and father. The mother, her father, and her daughter. It's just the crazy conflict that keeps coming up in this book. Now, what happens in the book is one day, okay, how do I explain this? One thing you should know is that the book is told in the perspective of this consciousness called Abi, ABI. Abi is in everybody's mind. They don't know how Abi got into everybody's mind, but Abi's in everybody's mind. And they know Abi's there because they ask Abi questions and say, hey, Abi, where's my dad? Hey, Abi, where's my daughter? Hey, Abi, what time is it? Hey, Abi, what's going on the other side of the island. Hey, Abby, why are these people singing? Abby knows everything because Abby's in everybody's mind. Abby has the right to control people. So if you're actually going towards the storm or the cloud, Abby can turn you right around. Abby can take off your mind and turn you right around. Abby forces everyone except the three elders to go to sleep at 8 o'clock. It does not matter where you are. Everybody in this community knows when it gets to 8 o'clock, you need to be in your bed. Because if not, if you're on a beach, 8 o'clock hits, I'm just gonna make you go right to sleep on the beach. Your fault. And Abby also wakes everybody up in the morning. Now Emery is looking at this going, look, this isn't fair. Something's not right about this. Like we should be able to stay up when we want. And of course everybody's like, hey, chill out, we're happy. Be quiet. So this book is told in Abby's perspective. And that took me a minute to kind of understand that dynamic because they say that one character's in a room, Naima by herself. But then you hear her ask Abby a question. You're like, wait a minute, what? I thought you said she was in a room by herself. But Abby's inside of everybody's mind. It's everybody's stream of consciousness that everybody can hear and everybody knows is there. So when you're reading this book, remember, you are Abby, seeing everyone and everything. Not only are you a fly on the wall, but you can manipulate the characters. And I thought that was an interesting way to bring the reader into this book. You are not only the fly on the wall, but you can manipulate all the characters. So it's pretty interesting to be Abby when you're reading this book, but that's who you are. So Naima is working in her lab, and she figures out that in 127 days, the fog that kills all life is going to swallow the island. And the only way to fix this is if someone dies. Because then everyone will learn everything about the island and they will learn how to stop the fog. But one person has to die. And Naima has run all the numbers. There is no other way around it. She's tried every other way. So one day all the villagers go to sleep. They wake up. And the one thing that they all know is that they don't remember anything from the last 24 hours. Usually they go to sleep, they wake up and they remember. They remember what happened the day before. This time nobody remembers everything. However, they do find Naima dead with a very huge wound in her chest and the building that she's in on fire. And so now Clara's like, hey, something's not right about this. I'm sorry, not Clara, Emery. Emery's like, something's not right about this. And then they realize that the shields are down and the fog is moving. Like, why would the shields be down? They've been up for over a century. Why would the shields be down? So they figure that we got to figure out what happened here. Well, Emery figures that out. And so Thea says, you know what? Thea says, Emery, I'll let you investigate, because Naima realized that Emery was very inquisitive. While everybody else was annoyed by her questions, Naima found it very interesting how inquisitive she was and that she just didn't go with the flow. And so Naima says, hey, I'm going to give you all these mystery books, but don't tell the other villagers because I don't want them reading about sadness and revenge and murder. I don't want them to learn these things because we're a peaceful village. But I think you can handle it. So Emery is remembering all these books that she read about Sherlock Holmes and and Agatha Christie, and reading about all these great investigators. And so Thea puts her in charge and says, hey, if you find out who murdered Naima, that's great. You can stop the fog. If not, we're all going to hide from the fog in like this underground tunnel and hope for the best. And so they start investigating. Emery starts investigating Naima's murder and asks Claire to help. So that is a setup for the last murder. uh, at the end of the world. Now, it took me a minute to kind of, like I said before, it took me a minute to understand the perspective I was reading it as. I wasn't just a fly on the wall. I was just almost this stream of consciousness for everybody, almost like a god for everybody. And you have control of all those people, and you're really, when you get to the fact you're reading it from that perspective, it makes the story very intriguing. And as you peel back the case, you start learning all the secrets of the island and how really messed up this island is. And it's almost a look into cult behavior, you know, where if you're happy, everything's fine. You can just ignore all the little stuff that just don't make sense. Like, why are people coming to us 8 years old? Where are they coming from? How are they made? This makes no sense. But hey, you got your kid. Your kid's growing up. You're not going to question it. Emery's just one of the people who constantly questions things. The status quo isn't good enough. And there are people who are like that in cults who end up getting thrown out. Like, hey, we don't want you asking questions. So you kind of read like, wow. And as they start telling you the truth about the island and everything that's going on, you're like, dude, this is wild. Okay. And then I start thinking, like, whose side would I be on? Would I be one of the people who be like, hey, everything's good. Don't question it. Let's just go with the flow here where everything's working. You know, there was no real violence on the island. You know, everybody was equal. Sounds like a utopia. But then when you start peeling back and you start seeing, like, hey, there's a lot of muck in here. And it kind of gets to you for a second. You're like, you know, maybe asking questions is a good thing. Maybe being inquisitive is a good thing. And so this book, I'm honestly, out of the books, compared to some of the books I read, I'll give it an A minus. It kind of took me a minute to get into it. But if I had read the author's note in the beginning, I would have understood the perspective that I was reading it from. Because the author did explain that in the note, but I didn't read it. I just cracked open the book and started reading. So I have to keep that in mind next time. Read the author's note first. But I will say this, it did make me curious about the author's other book, Seven and a Half Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. It did make me go, you know what? I actually want to read that book because I like this author's writing style. I like the fact that they actually give you a whole new world that makes you think. And even the author said that he doesn't write similar books. He jumps from one genre to another. So I'm interested in his writing for that genre as well. So, with that being said, like I said before, I actually found the book extremely interesting. It took me a minute to get into it, but once I got into it, I was seriously into it and I was shocked by how it ended. It was actually pretty shocking. I had a killer in mind, and I was completely wrong. And I had the why in mind, and I was completely wrong. I honestly went to a Hallmark mystery way of thinking about it, and that completely messed me up. But I'm glad that it didn't go the way I thought. I'm so glad it didn't go that way. It made the book a little bit more interesting. So you get the book, olive oil, birds, the ice cube tray, and where is it? Oh, stay up. The ice cube tray, the tweezers. Let's see if I can do this. I can do this, you guys. I can do this. I swear I can do this. All right, so we got ice cube tray, bird, olive oil. Sorry, okay. So, glass ball key ice cube tray, tweezers, olive oil spout thingy, olive oil jug. I'm sorry, olive oil jug, and salt and pepper birds, and the book The Last Murder at the End of the World. That is everything you get with this book. So if you got the book, let me know what you guys think below. Let me guys know what you think about the gifts. Give me your honest opinion, and I will see you guys with next month's book. All right, and I really want to hear what you guys think. So in life, there's black and white, but with me, you get one shade of gray. Bye, guys.